to Cheap Joe's Art Stuff. My name is Julie and I'm here to impart some knowledge to you today via a 2-minute art tip. And today I've got a really unusual product I want to show you. So whether you work 3D or maybe you are into casting and sculpture, maybe you incorporate some found object pieces that you want to reproduce, this is a product that may interest you. This is really cool. This is called Alumilite Remelt, and this is a mold making product. So you're creating a mold that you would then cast into. So this is really unusual. This is a 1-part product. There is no mixing. It's already taken care of for you. It's totally slick. It's totally cool. It melts at a very low temperature, which is like 140 degrees. We're actually going to use my handy little microwave here in my home studio, which makes it just a little bit easier than where we normally do our videos and stuff like that. So this one's going to be really easy. I want to show you step by step how this works. And so you can kind of see hands-on what we're doing with this product, okay? So, got this little jiggamadoo, like little decorative doodah. And I'm actually going to incorporate this into an art piece. I just don't want to use this thing. It's a little too heavy for what I want. So I'm going to be casting a duplicate of this, but what I need to do first is make a mold. It's going to take me 2 containers of this Amazing Remelt in order to make a mold big enough to handle this thing. And what I've got right here is just a piece of Gladware, you know, that you put your lunch in or whatever. What they recommend is that instead of like an expensive release spray or release material, you can actually just use, you know, cooking spray. So I've just got plain old canola oil. Works great. What we're going to do is spray the inside of this container so it's all ready to go, and we're actually going to spray the object. So this will keep the remelt from sticking to this. And they recommend that you actually take some kind of like a gum or a putty and affix it to the bottom, but as long as you're not going nuts with the stirring, seems a little excessive in my opinion. You know, the cool thing about Gladware is it has this like little popped up bottom, so it creates a perfect place for a fixed object to sit on when you're casting. So I'm going to try and orient this so that it's not completely touching the edges. So it's like sitting away from the edge a little bit. Got it. All right. Ugh. A little gross with the cooking oil. So what we're going to do is the remelt comes in these cute little packages, and you'll notice once you open it, it looks just like Jell-O. Just like it. Ugh. And what we're going to do, we're going to pop it in the microwave. All we got to do is heat it up. We are going to have to heat 2 packages. But I would recommend that you don't put multiples in at one time, and that's because one always seems to get the lion's share and the other one's a little bit weird. One thing that they do caution you about is that if you do overheat it, sometimes you'll get excessive bubbles in it. So what they advise you to do is actually take like a little knife or something like that and scrape the bubbles to the side before you pour, because the bubbles can create irregularities in your mold pour. Now, one of the really cool things that is totally different about Amazing Remelt is that, let's say that we make this thing and we're like, okay, great, that's all I really needed with it. Remelt can be remelted, so there is absolutely no loss whatsoever. So let's say that you're done with this mold and you don't want to make any more, you can actually just pop the thing back in the microwave after you've taken your object out and remelt it and create a totally different mold. So there's no loss whatsoever. Now, it smells not bad, but like if you're not fond of plasticky smells, you're probably not going to dig it, but it's not super bad. I'm stirring it up because it is a little bit more fluid on the outside than it is on the inside. And maybe needs like maybe 10 more seconds. It's a little rigid in the center there. So we're gonna pop it in. And you can hear my dogs in the background contributing to what we're doing here today. But this is really, really interesting. We're gonna pour 2 containers of the remelt in order to create this mold. Yeah, there we go. We'll go ahead and get this one cooking while we pour the next one. So about a minute and 10 per package. Goes really quickly. And what we're going to do here is we're going to pour this gently in there, and we're not going to just gob it in there. We're going to let it build up slowly so we can reduce the amount of air bubbles that we get. And I like to pour it from the bottom. Whoop. That thing like moved over. We're going to actually just move it over like that. And scoop this excess out. And the reason I like to fill it from the bottom is it makes sure to get any of the underside so we don't have an air pocket in there. Get all that in there. Sweet. Looks cool. And I'm just using like a popsicle stick. It's not like high tech or anything like that. Now you can save these packages to put remelt back in. Like let's say if you're done with the mold, I like to just remelt them back in the Gladware and then snap a top on it if I'm not going to use it again. I'm going to get that little air bubble out of there. Next up, cool. All right, this one, I need to move that thingy around a little bit. It's a little bit gobby right now, but as you can see, we can stir it pretty easily and get it to go where it needs to go. And we're ready to pour. So we're going to, whew, it's warm. But like we said, this is a low temp. It's like 140 degrees. Does the trick. This doesn't have a really, really harsh smell. It's pretty mild in comparison to like other mold making products. You're not going to be like, you know, this is stinking up my whole house or anything like that. It's just really, really easy. Easy to use. So, the other really fascinating part about remelt is this whole thing is going to be ready to pop out of this mold in approximately 30 minutes. Maybe a little bit longer because it's a pretty good size. But what they say is you can actually like touch it on the sides and feel that if it's cool. In using it before, I think it's better to be a little bit more conservative. Gotten a little over anxious and you know, want to pop it out. And it wasn't completely cold on the inside. So I would say 30 to 45 minutes for this one to be ready to pop out. But I will show you what this looks like. We actually made a mold of this earlier, popped it out, and then I used the Alumilite casting resin and made myself a cute little duplicate. So we have this one right here that I will then, I'm gonna actually sand it a little bit, but you can see it's got like an incredible amount of detail in there that it captured from our original. We're gonna actually shave this down and paint it up and use it inside of a piece that I'm working on. So Alumilite Amazing Remelt is really amazing. You will like it, and using it in conjunction with many of the other Alumilite products that we carry, you can create amazing stuff. Really, really fun stuff. So we know that you will enjoy